Mother's Day started the same way it always had in our family: too early, too loud, and inside a group chat that included 48 relatives who barely spoke to each other except on holidays. At 7:12 a.m., my phone vibrated on the nightstand. I assumed it was another pastel graphic with flowers and glitter text. My mother loved those. Instead, there was a spreadsheet. She'd sent it to the entire family. At the top, in bold letters, she'd written, TH Schausdorfer Aziz Adesipunyo and TE. Below it was a list that stretched for pages: food, school uniforms, shoes, dentist visits, summer camp, electricity, a winter coat from 2003, a broken phone screen from 2011, even things I didn't remember asking for: band trip fees, birthday parties, a laptop I'd used for college applications. At the bottom was the total, $347,000. Then came her message: Happy Mother's Day to me. This is what it costs to raise someone who never lived up to anything. 48 relatives read it at the same time. No one said anything. In our family, silence had always been a kind of agreement. I stared at the spreadsheet for a long time. Not because it hurt the way she intended. It didn't feel sharp like that. It felt familiar. Growing up, everything had been tallied. If she bought new shoes, she mentioned the receipt for weeks. If she drove me somewhere, the mileage became part of the story later. Even small kindnesses arrived with an invisible ledger attached. Love wasn't free in our house. It accumulated interest. The group chat stayed quiet for nearly an hour. A cousin reacted with a laughing emoji, then deleted it. Someone else wrote, wow, and nothing more. My uncle sent a thumbs up, which could have meant anything. No one told her to stop. But no one joined her either. I could feel 48 people watching the conversation like it was a slow accident on the highway. I didn't type anything. Instead, I opened my camera roll. There was a photo I'd taken months earlier, mostly out of curiosity. I had been cleaning out old files and found a document folded inside a folder of legal papers. I remembered sitting at the kitchen table that night, staring at the page and realizing how strange it was that our family had never talked about it. The photo was simple. Just a document with a court seal in the corner and a few paragraphs of official language. Near the bottom were two names, my mother's and a judge's. I posted the photo in the group chat, no caption, no explanation. Then I put my phone down and went outside. It was warm already, the kind of quiet morning that doesn't match the noise happening somewhere else. I didn't check the chat again for the rest of the day. By evening, my phone had filled with notifications. Private messages first. A cousin asking, wait, is this real? An aunt who hadn't spoken to me in 5 years writing, I didn't know about this. Someone else asking where I found the document. The photo had changed the story. For as long as anyone in the family could remember, my mother had told the same version of things: that I was difficult, ungrateful, impossible to manage, that she'd sacrificed everything and gotten nothing in return. But the document said something different. Years ago, long before most of the cousins were old enough to remember, there had been an official investigation into our home, the kind conducted by people who don't rely on family stories. The judge's signature confirmed the outcome. The record wasn't dramatic. No accusations, no spectacle, just a quiet statement that certain conditions in the household had required intervention. Reading it, you understood something immediately. The narrative my mother repeated for years hadn't been the whole story. Sometime during the night, the family group chat changed. I didn't see it happen, but the results were obvious in the morning. My mother kept posting messages, one after another, trying to reframe the situation. This is being taken out of context. People don't understand what that document actually means. After everything I've done for this family. But when I opened the chat list, I noticed something strange. The number beside the group had shrunk. One by one, relatives had blocked her. 47 of them. The only person still responding publicly was my grandmother. That surprised me. My grandmother had always stayed quiet during family conflicts. She attended birthdays, brought desserts to holidays, and never took sides. Her silence was legendary. Around noon, she sent a message. Just one. Attached was a scanned letter, older than the court document I'd posted. The paper was yellowed, the text slightly faded, but the letterhead was unmistakable, a regional family services office from decades ago. The letter explained why the investigation had started in the first place. It wasn't dramatic either, just a formal summary of concerns reported by teachers and neighbors at the time. Concerns about the environment in the home, about emotional pressure placed on a child who couldn't possibly meet the expectations set for them. At the bottom, my grandmother wrote one sentence. I kept this because I hoped we would someday talk about it honestly. That was all. No accusations, no defense. The chat went quiet again, but it was a different silence this time. My mother sent 3 more messages that afternoon, then 2 the next day. Her tone changed each time, first confident, then irritated, then strangely careful. No one engaged. Over the next week, people started reaching out to me individually, not to apologize exactly, mostly to ask questions. What had school been like back then? When had I found the document? Why had no one in the family ever heard about the investigation? I answered what I could. Some relatives stayed distant. Others spoke to me for the first time in years. No one mentioned the 347. 1,000 again. A few weeks later, I visited my grandmother. She was sitting in her usual chair by the window when I arrived, sunlight falling across stacks of old paperwork on the side table. I didn't know you had that letter, I said. She nodded slowly. I kept a lot of things, she replied. There was a long pause. Why send it now? I asked. She looked out the window for a while before answering. Because she decided to make the story public. Another pause. Once that happens, she said quietly, the truth has to sit in the same room. She didn't say anything else, and she didn't need to, because in our family, power had always belonged to whoever controlled the story. For the first time in a long while, that control no longer belonged to just one person.